Hello. Today's stories come from r/Today I Messed Up. We have three fun stories, and our first is another screw up from a previous poster. Anyone remember the wife who ate her kid's Easter egg and then tried to blame it on the sibling? Oh, I do. And OP is back with another goodie. First up, today I messed up by buying my wife a bra. Yes, I messed up again. I really actually don't feel I've done anything wrong. My wife disagrees. All summer, she has been complaining about her sweaty bouncers, how she's ruining all her good bras with Cheb sweat. She's paranoid about underboob sweat lines, etc., etc. Now, this isn't my first rodeo, so I stuck to just sympathetically listening and nodding at appropriate times. No comments that could be misconstrued as me criticizing her breasts or her sweatiness or anything like it. She's not even any more sweaty than the average person, and her breasts are incredible. But I digress. And absolutely no way in Bristol was I going to try to solve her problem. Only a husband who is an idiotic masochist would do that, right? But then last week, I got an email from the company she buys her period pants from. Each newsletter sign up gets money off their order, so a while back, she had also signed up using my email address to get an extra promo code. I don't have a menstrual product fetish or anything, I swear. Anyway, the subject line caught my eye: the sweat proof bra, a match made in leak proof heaven. Obviously, any sane person would delete the email. But as I said, I'm an idiotic masochist. Plus, the email said this bra would be my wife's new breast friend. Who was I to keep her from her breast friend? So I checked out the sizes of her other bras and then placed an order. It arrived an hour or so ago. I knew what it would be, so handed it to her unopened. Here, babe, this is for you. Oh, what is it? It's a bra. At this point, I see the glint in her eyes and realize my mistake. Sure enough, instead of the drop dead gorgeous lingerie she was hoping for, she pulls out her large, beige, utilitarian looking, sweat proof bra. Well, I'm sure you can imagine how it went from there, and my foolish muttering of, but the ad said it would be your new best friend didn't help matters, because apparently I'm the only sweaty tit here. I don't find her attractive anymore. I'll have you know that those sweaty milk bags fed and nourished our children. And just what exactly am I getting at anyway? Am I trying to say she has saggy chesticles? That she needs a new bra? A more supportive one for her aging sag bags? This is just like me to try to solve a problem rather than letting her vent. So yeah, that went well. She has taken the kids to their swimming lesson and then for ice cream. So I have 2 hours or so to try to salvage things somehow. Crotchless pants? Four bloody sisters, and not one of them is free to answer the phone. Four iterations of, sorry, I'm busy. Is it an emergency? Texts. So I'm on my own with this one. I think she'll be more willing to listen to my apology when she returns. She knows I am a well meaning idiot, and I think she is beautiful and sexy and deserving of lingerie, not beige, sweat eating monstrosities. Too long didn't read. Please take heed of my lesson. No matter how much she complains about her fun bag sweat, do nothing. Edit. They're just back. She has ice cream for me and a sheepish grin. I imagine we will be laughing about this after the kids go to bed. Like someone said, possibly my delivery, as if it was going to be a great present, contributed to her reaction, as did the fact I haven't bought her fun underwear in a long time, and she may well be going through the perimenopause. We have an incredible relationship. She is so funny, kind, caring, laid back, witty, and a million other good things. Her reaction was baffling. It was so out of character. Anyway, I'm going to read the kids their stories and put them to bed. They always sleep incredibly well after swimming, so hopefully we can both enjoy her sweaty biggins soon enough. Oh my goodness, poor guy. He really was just trying to help. I thought the story was both cute and hilarious. Also, as an aside, I had to change a lot of the terms in this story to make it more PG, but I included a little Easter egg from one of my favorite classic 80s shows. Did you catch it? Let's head to the comments for some funny advice for OP. My trash can is full said, I think the problem is she hasn't seen how good it could look. You need to model it for her when she gets home. Someone replied, I think that's actually a good idea. Gaster Beware said, I think this is the best idea I've seen so far. Alien Spores said, could have been worse. You could have gotten her a Peloton for Christmas. Someone replied, oh, buddy, taking this is from personal experience? Someone else replied, I think there was an ad for Pelotons on Christmas that wasn't very well received. Someone else said, hey, OP, I need a link for my wife's sweaty Bazookas. Seriously. She needs a new best friend, and I will show her this thread after presenting her new chesticle carrier. OP replied, username checks out, sweat119. This is the home of breast friendship. Purchase at your own peril. Our second story is Today I messed up by gardening in leggings. This happened about 20 minutes ago, so I think I have only begun to suffer the consequences. Today, I decided to do some much procrastinated garden work. I put my bug spray on, I lit some citronella candles, and I grabbed a beer to enjoy while I worked. I put on some leggings because I figured they would be cool enough to not be miserable while still protecting my skin against unsavory, blood sucking bugs. I live in Alabama. The mosquitoes here in the South are a nightmare. I should have known that nothing short of a beekeeping suit would keep me safe. Fun fact, when you bend over, as one tends to do when gardening, the fabric in the back and crotch of your leggings stretches out to be perfectly thin enough for mosquitoes to get through. I was outside maybe 5 minutes when suddenly it felt like my butt crack was being lit on fire. I frantically stood up and started essentially slapping my own butt to try and stop the itching pain. I can only imagine how it must have looked to any innocent bystanders. It just kept getting worse. So I ran inside and ripped my clothes off to get in the shower. I took a peek in the mirror before hopping in the shower, and it's not a pretty sight. It looks like Satan's herpes all over my butt and bits. As of typing this post, who knows if more will appear as the day goes on, I have 27 mosquito bites on my swimsuit parts. I'm not sure if I'm more uncomfortable from the physical pain or the embarrassment. Either way, the rest of the garden work is going to have to wait. Edit. Obligatory rest in peace my inbox and thank you for the awards. At the helpful and wholesome ones. I appreciate all you kind people giving bug repellent and antihistamine and healing suggestions in the comments. And I feel for all of you sharing your similar horror stories. This morning, I'm feeling much less miserable, even though things still look pretty rough between the welts and scratch marks on my booty. I'm just going to pretend they were from something kinky while I carefully apply itch cream. Thank y'all for joining me and laughing at my stupidity. Okay, so I know that was a short one, but I just had to add it because this happened to me just last month. Mosquitoes in my area are the worst I've seen. So I too geared up for some gardening, which I had been putting off. Leggings, check. Mosquito repellent, check. But of course, I sprayed everything I could see, which isn't really everything at all. I stopped counting when I got over 30. Anywho, let's check out the comments on this one. They do not disappoint. Super hilarious. Someone said, this is why you choose loose fitting clothing when dealing with skeeters. That way, their pokey bits can't get to your skin through the cloth and the gap between the cloth and skin. OP, aka mosquito herpes, replied, hindsight is 2020. I'll keep that in mind for next time. Ex Rockstar added, Heiny sight. OP replied, Tush A. Damascus added, well, that's awful. However, excellent username. OP, aka mosquito herpes, replied, ha, thanks. We've got to be able to make fun of ourselves sometimes. Uranus is a flytrap said, I had something very similar happen while fishing in leggings. Rest in peace. Someone else replied, so that's how you made your username too? Our last story is very wholesome. Today I messed up. I thought a cute guy was ghosting me, only to find out I was actually ghosting him. I was at a party 2 weeks ago where I only knew 2 people. When in walks this guy who immediately gave me this really big smile, and I thought he was so gorgeous. We ended up talking in the same circle, and he introduces himself. We start chatting and quickly find the circle around us has disappeared, and it is just us. He is so smart, his smile is outrageously cute, and I love how he seems laser focused on me instead of one of the many attractive women that have now joined the party and are talking about their cool Rhea dates. As the night wore on, I found myself talking to various different groups. But each time this guy would appear again and we'd end up just talking to each other again. Someone who neither of us knew came up and said we made an attractive couple. And I realized somehow in the span of 2 hours, we were already acting like a couple. It wasn't just being sexually attracted to him. I felt so comfortable around him and he was so attentive to my needs. I told him offhand I had allergies to the dog at the party. Hours later, when I started sneezing, he immediately knew why and moved us outside. His smile was the thing that immediately caught my attention. But it was the thoughtfulness that made it so at the end of the night, we catch an Uber home together and end up kissing. Before the Uber drops him off, I give him my number. Sunday comes, don't hear from him. Okay, I get it. We both got home at 4 a.m., and I too just want to sleep the day away. Monday comes, silence. Tuesday, even more silence. I know I've read how it is uncool to text a girl immediately because you want to seem super cool and wanted. But we're both in our mid 30s, and I hoped realize these mind games are BS. If you like someone, text them when you can. Life is too short to be with people half interested in you. Wednesday comes, and I'm a mixture of angry and over it, and insecure, all at the same time. How dare he lead me on like this? Well, I guess I'm glad I only wasted one night on this butthole. Was I not pretty enough? All these thoughts raced through my head and coalesced into me typing his name and workplace into Google to see if I can find him. Turns out he was incredibly easy to find. I was planning on just looking at him because I missed his face, but I accidentally clicked the link that brought me to his LinkedIn page. Yikes! Now he'll know that I stalked him, which made me feel even worse. I probably look crazy. Well, since I was already on his page, I guess I'd look at where he had worked. Maybe he wasn't really interesting and I'd feel better about him ghosting me. Nope. Turns out he is not only very smart, but also humble because his resume listed a dozen different cool jobs, impressive schools he's attended, things he's worked on. Great. I probably wasn't impressive enough for him. Not 30 minutes later, he friends me on LinkedIn, but seemed surprised that I was reaching out. He had evidently texted me that night and again the next day, only to not hear anything back. I had ghosted him. And this is how we found out my F up. When I gave him my number, turns out I was off by a digit. Turns out tipsy me isn't so great at typing or proofreading. If I hadn't been a creepy LinkedIn stalker, it could have been months, if ever, before we would have seen each other again. Right now, we're laughing about it and setting up our first real date. Wish me luck, Reddit. Oh my goodness, so cute, right? I'm such a sucker for a happy ending. Let's check out the comments for a bit of humor and a great anecdote. Matsu said, "Can't believe sliding into someone's LinkedIn DMs actually worked." Ashamed Protein replied, "That's why I include skills like listening, back rubs, and long walks on the beach in my LinkedIn profile." Built by Bama Roll Tide shared, "I'm so happy it worked out for you. I met my husband in a Waffle House. He was hammered and with his friends. I was with my friends celebrating my birthday. He made the drunk stagger to my table and loudly slurred, 'I'm gonna marry you one day.' I laughed and sent him away with, 'Let's see if you remember in the morning.' Well, as fate would have it, I was moving and was selling a futon. The buyer was him. He came and picked up, and when I opened the door, the look on my face was a mix of shock, horror, and disgust. But still, he paid for the futon. I at least needed to let him get it. He was a completely different guy, and he noticed we were reading the same book. Then he noticed we had similar tastes in movies and music. He asked me out on a proper date later in the week. I refused, saying I was moving. Well, he came and helped me move, then bought pizza that night. After that, I couldn't say no to his offer of a proper date. I learned the night I met him, he was at his buddy's bachelor party and he never drank, so just a few drinks hit him hard. He felt so embarrassed when he saw me at my house getting the futon. He knew he made a butt of himself and thought the likelihood of running into me again was slim to none, so he just was going to write it off as a learning lesson. We just celebrated 7 years last weekend. Sometimes things just work out how they are supposed to. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.